You're listening to the PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment.
When I say who are we, you say Saints. When I say are we ready, you say who? Who are we? Say, who are we? Say, are we ready? Who are we ready? Who are we? Say, who are we? Say, are we ready? This is New Orleans. Let's go, baby. Let's rock. We don't play what you do.
Hello, New Orleans. You're listening to the Sport Coma, your number one podcast on everything Saints and a lot more. And now, here's your host, Big Q and her guys.
Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. And we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. I'm Big Q, and this is podcast 419. That's right, 419 on the podcast, coming straight at you. And for those who don't know, we are the number one independent Saints podcast covering everything black and gold. We'd like to thank you guys for joining us today. And without further ado, podcast 4119, big shout out to all the new and established subscribers, listeners, family, as we welcome you aboard to the Sports Coma. If this is your first trek coming through, I'd like to invite you to join the family. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the bell if you're on YouTube for more and future notifications as we be carrying the black and gold, covering all throughout this entire season on our way to our second Super Bowl in Miami. So y'all guys, hit the bell, subscribe today so we can be a part of this really great journey coming up. In today's podcast, we're going to be covering some news dealing with the Saints. Issues, not too much issues, but the practice news. Today was pretty much a walkthrough day in anticipation of the Miami the game coming up tomorrow in the Superdome. It'll be the final preseason game. Thank God, thank goodness. Finally getting the preseason done tomorrow, and we can focus on the season that really counts, the regular season, as we kind of wind things down here. Now, moving to today's show, we'll have some practice notes from today. Not too much to talk about, but yesterday we'll give you some more information. If you're not up to currently, brought up to current, we'll get you there. We'll hit you with PJ Williams as he pled down in that DWI case that he got attached to late last season. As soon as the season was over with, PJ, I guess he was kind of frustrated after that Rams game, had a DWI situation. We'll tell you the latest on that. Also, we'll have interviews from Coach Payton, offensive lineman Terron Armstead, and QB, running back, wide receiver, tight end, special teams player, utility, Mr. Utility, Swiss Army knife himself, Taysom Hill, will chime in with some information. So without further ado, before we get started, I'd like to also let you guys know that the Sports Coma merch is now available. There'll be a link in the description section where you can support the Sports Coma and the black and gold by looking good, man. Looking good. We have several t-shirts designs. Every week we have a new design coming out. The latest design that's coming soon is the black and gold royal t-shirt, which is really fire. But we have several other shirts. The Chump Missioner shirt for those who hate Roger Goodell. Show your hate off in a stylish way and support the show as well. And other really great designs that you'll love. You go to the Pro Shop at our Teespring store. We'll make sure we attach a link in the description section and let you know that as well. And for those who are fantasy football players, the first annual Sports Coma Fantasy League, it is a 20-team fantasy league. There is one spot remaining in our fantasy league. If you want to get down with that spot, you better get your butt over there and sign up right away. One spot left. Remember, the champion, whoever wins it, gets $150. And the run-up gets $50. So sign up is free. One spot remaining, man. Big ups to all of the family that sent us the Sports Coma First Annual Fantasy League. So, and also, I guess we can let you guys know as well is that when Saturday rolls around, we do our Sports Coma live stream show every Saturday at noon Central Time. You can join it. We'll break down. We'll give you our 53-man roster. I'll break it down to you on a live stream, live chat, call-ins, all that'll be rocking. 2-hour live stream on the YouTube channel, so subscribe for that as well. Now let's get right into the show. Enough of that other stuff. Getting right into the meat and potatoes. The first thing I like to talk about is the Saints practice. Of course, today was much more of just a walkthrough, not too much to report on. But yesterday's practice, 12 players didn't show up, which is noteworthy because that carried into tomorrow's game, and we're not going to see most of those guys anyway because you're going to see a lot of the backups playing this game. Guys get a lot of time to see if they can really make the team, and possibly a lot of guys the Saints looking at for the practice squad. Now, running back Dwayne Washington, who kind of left the field against last preseason third game against the Jets, kind of woozy because of that dirty defensive back. He didn't play. Zach Line, Keith Kirkwood once again, Austin Carr, Jared Cook, Cameron Tom, Marshall Newhouse, Mario Edwards Jr., Alex Anzalone, Craig Robertson, Josh Martin, Saquon Hampton weren't observed on the field. Tom missed his second straight game in practice, after playing in his third preseason game. Carr, Kirkwood, Martin left the third preseason game with the trainer. Washington, of course, was reported that he did suffer a concussion. Anzalone and Hampton haven't been on the practice field for the team drill since the preseason opener. Still no official news on Alex Anzalone or Craig Robertson, but we will get something coming up soon, trust me. The second preseason game with that apparent injury was Craig Robertson, and it was unclear why Lyon was not on the field practicing the other day. And Drew Brees and A.J. Klein did return to practice after missing the previous day. They were given some time off. And, of course, mostly a walkthrough is what's going to happen today. Nothing to report on that, but we do have some interviews that we'll play momentarily from the coach as he'll tell you more about his feelings going into this next Miami game. Now, going into our next story, the Saints cornerback P.J. Williams right after the championship, not directly right after, but very closely after the NFC Championship loss to the Los Angeles Rams, P.J. had caught this ridiculous DWI case. Now, he pleaded guilty to a reduced charge of reckless operation of a motor vehicle on Tuesday after he was initially charged with driving while intoxicated. Now, he was ordered to pay a $340 fine, according to the report. However, the fifth-year cornerback could still face discipline charges from the NFL. Here we go. This is a warning to all the family out there that any time Roger Stinking Goodell has an opportunity to levy his heavy hand upon the Saints, watch out. It was the foolishness that happened with David Onyemata with the package that came to his house that he didn't smoke or what have you. And even the officials, he did some program. The officials or the police drew the case out. The NFL still levied a one-game suspension upon Onyemata. Very just stupid move by the commissioner. So anytime there's punishment to be leveled against the Saints, just prepare for heavy-handedness. You know, just it's ridiculous. So anytime you hit Onyemata with a one-game suspension for a box of weed that came to his house or whatever it was, let's see what PJ get while driving intoxicated. You know, let's see what happens. I mean, what could we expect here? A two-game fine? I mean, you never could tell with that commissioner. However, he like I said, he could still face discipline from the NFL. The incident took place in January. It's not uncommon for the league to wait until the case is resolved to move against it. And, of course, what the NFL Commissioner Brian McCarthy says, we've been monitoring developments in this matter, always monitoring developments when it comes down to the Saints. Anything they can do to try to levy something heavy on the Saints, they're going to do it. Williams appears to be set to begin the season as a primary nickelback. I don't know if that's the case. He did show me nothing in preseason to say that he's the primary nickelback. PJ Patrick Robinson stunk as well. And if anybody should get an opportunity to play the nickel position, it should be Justin Hardy, who looked good. Kayvon Webster was better than those guys. And even the rookie Chauncey Gardner-Johnson should get an opportunity over the way those guys was playing. Now, PJ was a third-round pick out of Florida State back in 2015, battling injuries and inconsistencies throughout his entire career. But he had the best stretch of his career in the slot position, rolled on the second half of last season after Robinson broke his ankle. And he was named NFC's Defensive Player of the Week for Week 8 after returning an interception for touchdown and helping force a fumble in the Saints' 30-20 victory over Minnesota. Now, the Saints do have other options. Like I just mentioned, Williams' arrest just came 3 days after the Saints lost an NFC Championship game. He was stopped after driving 80 miles per hour in a 50-mile-per-hour zone along the Crescent City Connection Bridge and refused the breath test. PJ out of his mind. He was booked in New Orleans Parish Justice Center for DWI, speeding improper lane change, and failure to use a turn signal. He was also arrested for DUI shortly before the 2015 draft. Those charges were later dropped. And while he was at Florida State, he was involved in a 2014 car accident where he was initially left the scene before returning. 20 minutes later, he was ticketed only for failing to yield and driving with a suspended license in that incident. And the police noted no suspension of him being impaired. So they really helped him out there. The second one, he got help on that one. This time around, PJ it's a pattern, man. I mean, so let's just hope that this is all clear. But it's not guaranteed that P.J. Williams would even make the team. This is all speculative at this matter. But anyway, before we get in talking about the rest of anything dealing with the Saints, let's hear what Coach Payton had to say about the camp. Here's Coach.
Sean, when you get to the last preseason game and those final decisions, how important will special teams be on Thursday night?
I think pretty significant. Oftentimes you're looking for guys that can play snaps. You're always talking about a vision, and so if it's a young linebacker or a young tight end or running back, what's our vision if they're not getting, if they're only a backup? So I think really important.
Sean, do you have position battles like at this point where it's just come down to this last game and that's pretty much it?
Yeah, there's a body of work, but you're evaluating all of it, and so it's you would say a last test, so it matters in the grade.
Sean, this question is obviously inspired by Deontay Harris, but in general, with return men, is there a constant? Do we want the home run threat, or do we want the guy we're going to trust to catch it properly every time? I mean, is that always?
I want both.
Difficult? I know.
I want both. Yeah, I mean, look. A returner who fumbles the ball consistently becomes someone else's returner. So, but we feel like he's someone that has really progressed. He's gotten healthy, and we're starting to see some of the things he can do, and I'm encouraged.
Were you looking for a return man when you guys signed him after the draft, or
well,
was he a special graded player?
We had already signed one returner. We knew Tommy had left. I'd say in each draft, you identify as they're draftable. There were a handful of draftable players that were returners. We ranked that position, who's the best returner in the country, who were draftable returners, and then he was a player that that we had high grades on and ended up recruiting, as a free agent.
Is the fact that he had the most touchdowns in college football, is that a stat like that one that's hard to ignore?
Well, it's not the stat so much, because when you evaluate this position, the first thing you're going to look at is his returns. And so if that, in fact, is a statistic, chances are that return reel is going to be pretty significant. And, it's a production position. And so, the level of competition wasn't maybe as high as some of the others, and yet you still watch a player do it, and that is why he ended up here.
Sean, a guy like Marcus.
That's Coach Payton, man, breaking down his thoughts on, obviously, that was him talking about Deontay Harris. And we mentioned, if you go back and listen to the earlier shows, we talked about Deontay Harris coming here. And out of all of the wide receivers, you heard the flack about Cyril Grayson the most. Cyril Grayson, because he's LSU, he's a track star. And we kept hearing the stuff about Cyril Grayson. The last one we were able to see was Deontay Harris, because he was pretty much hurt for the duration of the mini camp all the way up until right before the big camp started. We didn't see him all the way up until that first game against the Minnesota Vikings. Then you were able to see him because he was healthy to play out of all those wide receivers. But Deontay Harris, if you go back and watch the footage, the highlights from him returning in college, he was something special all the time. He's a guy that has a niche for it. He has the speed, he has a vision, and that's something that you got to have if you're a kick returner or a punt returner. You're playing it. You got to have vision, got to be quick-brained, quick-minded to be able to make a move and do some things. Hopefully the Saints special teams units can help him by creating lanes for him to run through, because like I said a million freaking times, they absolutely suck when it comes down to creating lanes and blocks for return men to do anything. And we watch for years Tommy Lee Lewis run up into the back of his own people trying to block for him. like some Three Stooges moment or something. But you could see some of that in the latest round of special teams. Hopefully Coach Dan Rizzi, who was one of the top 10, who headed one of the top team special team units for several seasons in Miami, could turn this around. And like I quoted an article from the Times-Picayune about Dan Rizzi taking the kick return and punt returners and, teams back to basics to get them to understand how you're supposed to line up in open routes and lanes for this returner to be able to take some stuff back, because I want to see some special teams touchdowns from New Orleans this year. I mean, with Deontay Harris and Cyril Grayson, if they keep Cyril Grayson, we need to have some explosive talent like that in the special teams room that can take it to the house at any given moment. But that was Coach Sean Payton breaking that down. The next interview we got lined up for you is big Terron Armstead, and truth and belief that Terron Armstead is healthy going into this year. And that is a big plus, because we're going to need the big fella to turn it up this year. Here's Terron Armstead with his thoughts on the camp.
Every facet of the game, offense, defense, special teams, we just got to put it all together. I think the biggest thing for this team would be starting fast. I can't remember the first season opener we won, so I think that'll be a big emphasis for us. I'm pretty sure every team's saying the same thing, but starting fast, getting out to a 1-0 start, that'll be huge for us.
Well, the kind of slow September starts as a veteran player, are that a little bit of a head scratcher for you?
You just don't want to come out the gates behind. We can get that early jump, 1-0, and start stacking them, confidence, and get our momentum going. We're a rhythm team. We like to get momentum during the games, keep the rhythm up, especially on offense. So I feel like the whole team can feed off that. We get that first win, we start stacking them early.
In the past, once you guys started to streak a little bit, you guys really started to streak.
Exactly. So why not start week 1?
When you look back at camp as you guys are kind of wrapping it up, is the talent level that you guys have, are y'all's performances a confirmation of how good you thought you would be coming into camp, or have they even exceeded those expectations?
I think every team, every start of training camp is a blank sheet, and you got to put it on the film, put it on the field, regardless of how talented you are on paper. It all got to work together. Every practice progressing, and then on game day, I think from preseason 1 to preseason 3, we showed improvement. So that was huge for us.
Mrs. Benson.
That's offensive lineman Terron Armstead family talking about what needs to happen for New Orleans to get off to a fast start going into the regular season. Among the things that need to happen for New Orleans to get off to a fast start is they got to stay the hell away from injuries. But speaking exclusively to Terron Armstead, who's finally healthy, who says he's 100%, had a few bumps and bruises in some of these preseason games into the big practice, into big camp. It's just we need all of our offensive line, and I keep saying this, that our offensive line is obviously, in my opinion, the best offensive line in the NFL when healthy. No one can stop the New Orleans Saints offensive line. So, I mean, that's what we're talking about. We absolutely dominate the line of scrimmage, and we kick butt. That's what I'm talking about. Our team, that's how good our offensive lineman is. But anyway, that's we have one more interview we got lined up for the Swiss utility knife, as they call him, Taysom Hill, Mr. Explosive, Mr. Wide Receiver Speed, Mr. Tight End, Mr. Wide Receiver, Mr. Quarterback, looking good in the preseason as well, throwing the ball, going through his progressions. New article came out in Times-Picayune, was pretty good, about Taysom Hill saying that he just does what Drew does, which is a good thing to do. Take advantage of that, man. You were mentored, according to him, he was mentored by Steve Young, and now he is backing up Drew Brees. Suck it all up as far as long as you could take and mimic and do whatever Drew tell you to do as far as football is concerned, because you can't go no wrong. But here's Taysom Hill's thoughts.
I don't know if I have a score, but I got the Cougs winning.
You're going to be hauling out of the preseason game to catch the end of the game.
No doubt, yep. Marcus and I have already had several conversations about the game. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens.
How much more confident do you feel out there as you continue to progress, to like almost let it rip with you?
Yeah.
Like when you get out there.
Yeah, I think my development in the offense has been significant from the time I got here. Going back to when I was claimed and not really having an opportunity to learn the system, and I feel like this year as my second training camp, my understanding of the offense has significantly increased. And just, I think every quarterback can talk about the game kind of slowing down, and you just have a better understanding of why we're doing what we're doing and why we're trying to attack what we're attacking. And I felt that this training camp for sure, which has been really big for me and allowed me to play fast and just let it go.
And do you feel more conviction in your throws and your reads? And I mean, just take me through like your mindset, like where you feel it.
Yeah, look, I think early in your career too, I think there's a little hesitancy because you almost want to be perfect. That opportunities are going to be limited, and you're trying to make the most of every opportunity, but then not trying to make a mistake. And as a young undrafted player, like that's not an easy thing to balance. And I think that going into year 3 for me, I felt more confident. Just overall with my position on the team and being able to just go out and play.
Are you convinced that you are one day a starting quarterback in this league? How do you feel?
I mean, I feel like I'm capable for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't feel that way.
Do you feel like
Taysom Hill, family? Taysom Hill. You heard the man ask him the question. Do you feel like you're a capable starting quarterback in this league? And what did he say? I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't think I could. I mean, how was he supposed to answer that question? No, guy. I don't think I'm a starting quarterback. I'm a good backup, though. I mean, seriously. But I just like Taysom's confidence, the fact that he's a playmaker. You get him out there any kind of way you can get him out there. Sean Payton realizes and knows it basically created another position that the copycat league will try to copycat. But, it is football, man. We still going to dominate. Saints top 5 have a top 5 offense this year. Barring injuries, we should be able to just destroy teams. Defensively, we're looking good. Special teams are lining up. It's the trifecta going down in a major way for New Orleans Saints. I'm excited. You should be excited too. And that'll do it for the show. If you like the show, share the show, subscribe. Man, come on. Join the Sports Coma family, man. If you haven't, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share the show wherever you socialize. Remember, we got 1 spot left in our fantasy league. Y'all want to get in that, check the community page on the YouTube. Also, the merch is available at our teespring.com, the pro shop, for all the latest gear. Catch the live stream at 12 on Saturdays, noon Central Time on our YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us. Who dat? Peace.
If you haven't heard the Sports Coma, this is what you're missing. Check out the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
HomeBistro.com. Freshly prepared, home-delivered, restaurant-quality gourmet meals delivered straight to your home. Choose from over 50-plus gourmet meal options cooked by world-class chefs and delivered frozen, ready to eat within minutes and no commitment. Welcome to the one-shop gourmet food delivery, specialized affordable options to eat right and feel great. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Every ingredient is handpicked to the highest standard. And why you should buy from HomeBistro.com? Restaurant quality, made with natural ingredients, delivered right to your door. Overnight shopping is available. Diabetic, paleo, heart health, and vegetarian options to eat. Doing business since 1999. Courteous, knowledgeable, and professional support. Complete PCI compliant SSL security ordering, and great meals. Choose from some of my favorite dishes: the Mediterranean chicken with orange honey sauce, the charbroiled chicken romesco, or the grilled chicken breast with sweet and spicy vegetables. No matter what you choose, you can't lose with HomeBistro.com. Eat great, feel good, and save some money with HomeBistro.com. Hit the link in the description section below for more information.
I'm a Saints and Pelicans fan, so the only podcast I can get my fix is the Sports Coma with Big Q. The guy's intense, funny, and they always keep it real.
Check out the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, and even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in Orleans. Embrace Pet Insurance is more than just pet insurance. Embrace Pet Insurance promises to provide genuine support and certainty when your pet needs it the most. With personalized accident and illness policies, compassionate customer care, 24/7 access to veterinary professionals, flexible wellness plans, timely claims processing, and online customer portals, their values is what makes them Embrace. So, when selecting a pet insurance company as a partner in your pet's care, you deserve a company that has your pet's best interests at heart. Get top-rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Up to 90% back on bills at any vet, total protection, pet insurance and wellness, and dependable claims payments. Get the top-rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Go to EmbracePetInsurance.com. That's EmbracePetInsurance.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Follow the Sports Coma on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.